Let me see a show of hands if you love the 1994 Thumbelina movie by Warner Brothers. Yeah, that's what I thought. We're making that dress today. And I know you loved that skirt when you were a kid. I know you did, because I did. And who wouldn't? The way it just like swished. Ugh. And I found the perfect fabric. I think the drape is perfect. And it's light, so it'll be like really flowy, and it'll dance around us. Anyways, sorry, get a little carried away. So we're not quite making a cosplay, but it's also not quite like a for real outfit. It's somewhere in between that. I guess it's just not quite a cosplay because I'm not doing the hair, or I'm not like buying a wig to do the hair. But everything else is kind of like, it's gonna be what she wore, but they look like real clothes, so it's not quite a cosplay. But I kind of am cosplaying her. I do have hair extensions now, so I could just use that, but it's not the same color, so we're getting sidetracked. We're gonna make the skirt, the top, the belt thing, the waist belt that she wears, and then we're also gonna make fairy wings because, I mean, who needs a reason to make fairy wings? Nobody. You should make fairy wings. What's stopping you? So we have all the fabric we need. This is another one of those projects where I'm like, I have a vague idea of what I'm doing, and then make decisions like as we're making it, which is the proper way to make things, if you ask me. And this is a special episode because it's a collaboration with Madame Myriad. She's a friend of mine, not to brag, but we kind of live a little far from each other. There's like a whole ocean between us. So we can't like, you know, do anything in person. But she's also going to be making a Thumbelina, but she's making her own version of it. I believe hers is like a medieval version. I've seen the designs, it's very cute. I'm excited to see it. But we're gonna have like a call with her later and like sit down and chit chat while we work on our projects. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started because I just want to. Let's go. I mean, you don't want to hear me talk at you forever. I've done enough of that. I could yap at you and tell you facts about the movie. You don't care. Or maybe you do. I don't know. But let's just like make a thing. We don't have to make a big deal about everything, right? We could just make things. I want a t-shirt that says, can we just make things? Like some flowers on it or something. Can we just make things? This is me rambling. Let's make a skirt.
Cutting this skirt out was a challenge, let me tell you. There wasn't enough fabric to freehand it like I've done in the past, so I'm using the Stanwyck skirt from Charm Patterns because I needed the panels. After laying the pieces out and doing some rough arranging, trying to get the absolute most out of the fabric, I need the skirt to be ankle length, so I extended out about 14 inches. I was able to get 6 complete panels, but I had to piece together the last 2. Half of which was on the opposite grain, which is not ideal, but I put that panel in the center back and just hoped for the best and that it didn't cause me any trouble later. After getting them cut out, it's time to sew up all 8 panels, leaving a little room in the back for the zipper. I thought it would be fun to do a gunner signature shot here. Cute. Now I need to press all the seams open. This is a knit fabric, so I don't have to worry about finishing any of the seams.
I ate cereal for lunch and I used the rest of the milk to put in my latte. And now it kind of tastes a little cereal-y, like fruity. It's strange, but it's not bad. Also, I changed clothes because everything just felt tight and uncomfortable and I didn't want to do that anymore. Why is my hair giving 1835? Huh? I had to pin my bangs back because they were also being like too much. I just wanted everything to like just chill out a little bit. Like, we don't always have to be, you know? My cheese. We have our skirt put together, and it passes the swoosh test with flying colors. Now we want to put a waistband on it, and I want to do a curved waistband. So, pin. I had to move my drawer to this side of the table because it was on the other side, but then I kept hitting it with my leg and I'd have these really gnarly bruises on my leg. So I moved it over here. Now I have to like circle the table when I need it. So we're gonna make a curved waistband because I'm a bit curvy and curved waistbands just fit better. Here. Stop. They just sit nicer, you know? So I want my waistband to be 30.5 inches. I want it to be an inch wide. So this is our waist. No seam allowance. We'll cut 2 of these. We're gonna need seam allowance on both sides. And also, we're gonna do a lapped zipper. And so I'm gonna need like hook and bar area, and we're gonna give an inch for that. Right here is the new end point. We're gonna give 1/2 inch seam allowance everywhere. I know you're thinking like, Annie, this is not curved at all. This is a very straight waistband. I know, we're getting there. Patience, friends. I'm gonna mark the midpoint, be 15.25, and just label it middle. I'm gonna cut it out. I've started cutting everything out with X-Acto knives because it's so much easier. There's definitely a larger margin for error, but it is so much faster. Now I'm gonna chop it in 4 places. I'm gonna fold it in half. Not totally in half, we're gonna fold it at like the middle point. And then fold that in half so that we have 4 creases. That's 3. I know how to count. All right, gonna cut into these, leaving a small little hinge. And give one right here too. I wanna add 1.5 inches to the bottom. So let me figure something out. We do some math. That was stupid, I could have done that math. So I wanna add a total of 15 millimeters. Now I want to divide that up by the 5 marks that I've made, which is 3. So we're gonna add 3 millimeters to each of these. This here. Tape down the first part. Millimeters. Tape it down. And then we just do that for the other ones too. So let's get that done. All right. Now we got a curved waistband. From here, you can redraw it and kind of like curve it a lot nicer, but I'm not going to. This is fine. Okay, so let's put this waistband together and then we can do the zipper. Pike. Okay, skirt is all done. The only thing I need to do is hem it and put the hook and eye on it. But since this is a circle skirt and it's cut, a lot of it's cut on the bias, we need to hang it up for at least a day, but I'm gonna probably leave it for a couple days because it's gonna stretch out. We wanna wait until it's all fallen and stretched out as much as it's going to, and then we'll hem it. It's longer than I thought it would be. I guess I could have shortened it a couple of inches, but this is perfect. Now it'll definitely be long enough. The waistband could have been a little bit more curved, but I'm gonna make a note on my waistband because I'm actually gonna keep that one. And then I'm gonna just kind of curve it out just a smidge more. All right, let's hang. Put it over here. Next thing I'm gonna do is the top. I'm gonna use my bodice block to draft up the top. And then I have the perfect puff sleeve. Huh? See this? Look at this. This is perfect, right? Yeah? So we're gonna use the puff sleeve from that pattern, which I threw away. I didn't throw the actual pattern away because I print all my patterns on the big A0 or A0 paper, and then I trace them out, and usually I keep them, but my room was just really messy. And sometimes I get a little overwhelmed with how messy it is, and I just don't have it in me to like clean everything and put everything away. So it's just like a lot of it ends up just going in the trash. Most everything on the floor is just like trash. So I threw it away. But it's okay, I just get the pattern out again and I'll retrace it. This is all the scraps we have left. I think I got 4 yards of fabric. Damn near all 4 yards are right there. It's off screen, you can't see it, but the dress is just hanging right over here. Skirt. I kind of need to see if I even have fabric for this shirt. I think I do, but I'm not sure, so I don't know why I'm whispering. I'm gonna not do that because I don't like that when people whisper. Really bothers me. Okay, let's make this top.
Time to pattern out the top. Now I realize using a black pattern makes me look fancy and full of knowledge, but don't let that fool you. Pattern drafting is a lot of guesswork for me, and I reference my books a lot. And I feel like I've gotten really lucky with my shenanigans so far. But let's get back to the subject at hand, please. First, trace out the block. Then I need to take the center back seam out because we're cutting it on the fold. And then adding a center front seam because Thumbelina has a line in the center front of her bodice. So we're going to consider that a seam. Pulling up the reference photo, I use the apex mark on my pattern to determine how low I want the neckline to be. I play around with different rulers, trying to get a shape I'm happy with. Then I use the front to mark the shoulders and center for the back, and then cut everything out. Now it's time for some dart manipulation. I want to add a drawstring to the neckline, so I need to widen it. So I close the side dart and then open the same amount in the neckline. And that was it.
Here's the prototype for our shirts. And by prototype, I mean the shirt. I'm gonna add bias tape around the neckline and then fold it in and create a channel that we're gonna put a drawstring in. And then that'll like close in this gaping neckline. And I think it'll make it look really cute. I didn't add the darts in the bottom because I needed to put it on. And now that I'm like looking at it, I'm like, I don't know, because she does have the like corset belt thing, and I just feel like it bunches too much. I think what I'm gonna do is put in the darts in the front and back, just the waist darts, and then add in an invisible zipper over here where it like zips this way. I gotta see what invisible zips I have in my stash and if I have one that's short enough and white. Aren't these sleeves so cute? They're perfect. I don't really want to talk about my hair. I was trying something. I don't know if I like it or not, but it's definitely giving like Maid Myriad vibes. The last things we need to do for the top are we're going to take some bias tape. It is I think single fold bias tape, and we'll open it up, sew it around the bottom, and then flip it and top stitch it down. And then we will do the same thing for the top. And then this will also create our channel. So we'll open the center up right here so that we can add a little drawstring. That way we can have the little bow that's right here. And then our top is done. That kind of takes care of like the bigger parts. So now we need to make the little belt thing, wings, shoes, flower hair thingy, headband, and I got hair extensions again. And I just washed my hair, so it like washed out a bunch of color, and now this doesn't match. There's a possibility I might dye it before I do the reveal, but let's not get carried away, okay? I did start crocheting these little adorable flowers from here. They were really simple. I'm not a crocheter. I have crocheted. I've crocheted an entire sweater out of the wrong yarn. It took too long for my brain to pull the word yarn. And it weighed like 20 pounds. It was way too thick. I've tried to make a blanket. It never worked out. I don't know what. It's just like, why aren't you square? So I can kind of crochet. It is a hobby that I go back to every couple of years. I cannot crochet enough to look at those patterns that just have a bunch of like letters and numbers and do that. That's just witchcraft right there. So I do videos. I'm a very like kind of visual learner. I can see it and then I can do it. I like to say that I'm a mimic. Isn't that a Pokemon? I'm just like very good at copying other people. So I got little flowers. Probably make some more of those, and then I gotta make the green bit. And a very tiny crochet hook. I hate this hook. The like hook part is too long. It's a terrible hook, but it's the only one they had in this size. Do not recommend. I found some shoes in my closet. They've obviously been in the closet for a long time. It's just like dust everywhere now. I'm gonna paint these green. I think that's what color her shoes are. And then I will take the strappy bit off. I don't remember the last time I wore these. It has been a while based on the amount of dust on them. So I don't think I'll miss them. Oh, I got some really great fabrics for the wings. I got this gold organza and then this like iridescent net thing that I'm gonna layer on top of it to give it that like sparkle. So pretty. I guess let's go in order of importance. So we'll start with the belt. I have this green silk left over from my Victorian corset, my 1860s corset that I'm gonna use for the belt. Is so pretty. He's so pretty. And then I'll also use this for the headband. Can I use this for the shoes? Is that a thing? We're about to find out. Because that would be really great if they all matched. Do I have enough? I think so. Cool. Green shoes. I did buy spray adhesive, so I think I have what I need for it. Okay, let's pattern out a thingy for this.
To pattern out the waist belt, which has a name but I've forgotten it right now, starts the same way as patterning out the top, tracing the bodice block. Using the top of the waist dart as a reference point, I draw out the center front of the belt and then curve it out to the side. I do the same thing for the back and then cut it out. I decided to cut off all the seam allowance because I want to lace up the center back, so I want a little bit of a gap there. I wasn't really sure how to do the dart manipulation for this one, so I just straight up took them out. Just closed them right up like a Chick-fil-A on a Sunday. So Thumbelina's belt sits at her waist, but I was afraid that the skirt would come out if I did that. So I wanted it to sit over my hips a little bit. So I kind of just guessed and drew a line for my hip, looked at it and thought, that's cute, and then kept drawing the line out a little bit further until I felt it was dramatic enough to fit over my hips. Then extend it all down about 1.5 inches. Do the same thing for the back, and then I cut it all out of some duck canvas for the mock-up.
Okay, here's our little belt thing. I've already trimmed off this a bit at the top because it was too high. And then I went ahead and chopped off the part in the back where it went up because I didn't like the look of it. And then I chopped off 1 inch on either side. So this is what we're left with. I think this works. And then with just kind of like lightly holding it, there's a good, what feels like 2 inches of space. I don't know how I feel about it like going over my hip, but I think it'll work. I think it'll be okay. I don't know. It's fine. I think it'll be okay. We'll add some boning in here and then a back lacing panel. let's cut out the silk. So I kind of got in the groove and forgot to film because I'm bad at my job. But I have the outside green fabric and the inside fabric. The green fabric I've interfaced with a somewhat stiff interfacing and iron-on interfacing to keep it flat. And then this is 2 pieces of fabric. It's some duck canvas and then just a white cotton fabric. It's a sheet, don't tell anyone. And I've sewn some boning channels kind of sporadically. There's not really a rhyme or reason to where I put them, except just like, I don't know, here. So the bones are in between the 2 layers. So now I'm gonna sew them together, right sides around the top and the bottom. And then I'm gonna pull it right side out of the back. And then fold in the back center and then top stitch it down and put another boning channel right there and then grommets. And then this will be done, which means tomorrow we need to work on all the accessories, shoes, headband, wings. Let me sew this together and we can see how it looks. Ready? Oh, my clothes changed too. How weird. It's like it's the next day or something. Crazy. This is finished. I added a modesty panel, I think that's what you would call it, in the back, just a little flap so when it's closed and laced up, you don't see anything coming through. Because my first thought this morning as I was coming into consciousness was I should have made this a dress because the shirt is gonna come out of the belt. That was my first thought this morning. I should have made this a dress. I was suddenly afraid that if I you raise your arms and then your shirt comes up, and then I was afraid it's gonna come out of the vest because it's not that long. I think it'll probably be fine. I haven't actually tried it on. It should be okay. I don't really see that being a big issue. I don't know why I was so worried about it first thing this morning. I went with gold grommets because I think this belt is kind of cool and I'll probably wear it with other stuff. And I wear gold. I wear a lot of gold. I guess I have warm skin tones and gold looks good on me. I don't know. I just have gold. I like it. Thank you. The end. I think today I'm gonna finish everything up, and tomorrow morning for me, I have a call scheduled with Madame Myriad to chat and kind of show off what we're doing. So we get to see what's up with her and check in on her. I was crocheting on the couch last night, watched 2 episodes of Outlander, and only managed to crochet 3 flowers. Kept getting distracted and my petals became mutants. So I really need to make the wings, but I also very much really want to procrastinate on making the wings. I don't really want to make the wings. I don't know how to make the wings. I'm kind of playing around with the idea of making the wings like you would a lampshade, where you first you would make the metal outline and then you would cover it in ribbon and then you would sew the fabric onto the ribbon. Would that be weird? I'm probably making this way more difficult than it needs to be. Most people use cellophane from what I've seen, and I didn't go that route. I thought these fabrics are very pretty. I will use these pretty fabrics. I can figure it out. I'm a clever lady. How about I just make the headband and the shoes really quick and just think about the wings while I do that? So I just don't know. Yeah, okay. We're gonna work on the shoes and the headband really quick. Dryer's done. Headband and shoes. Let's do that.
The headband I bought came pre-wrapped, so after tearing that off, I used it to make a pattern, and then cut it out of the green silk. Assembling here was stupid easy. It still had the adhesive on the inside, so I used that to stick the silk to, then used a bit of hot glue to fold over and adhere the ends. And just to make it look a little bit nicer, I hot glue a ribbon over the seam, and done. Now for the shoes. If I was going to use the fabric, I needed a pattern, so I patterned them out the only way I knew how, with plastic wrap and duct tape. After it was completely covered, I marked the outline of the shoe, cut it off at the center back, and laid it out flat. I realized the toe still had a bit of a curve to it, so I cut out a couple little tiny darts. The important part of a duct tape pattern is that the pieces need to be flat, because you need to transfer them to paper. After doing that, I cut it out and then test that on the shoe, and it seems like it covers it well enough. So it's time to cut it out of the silk, giving myself a little bit of seam allowance. Next, I sprayed the shoe with some adhesive and just slap the silk on and smooth it out as I work. Then I cut into the seam allowance around the curve of the toe and the heel so that I can fold those under and glue them down. I just used hot glue for this. Maybe I should have used something else, but it actually held up surprisingly well. This whole process was shockingly easy. Shoes and headband are done. The shoes are not perfect, but I think they're great. They're a little messy, but they're shoes. Who cares? This is really turning into like a full cosplay, except for the hair color. It's going in a different direction than I thought it would. That's okay. I've already drawn out a rough sketch of the wing. Now I need to do the wire part. And then I really have to figure out how I'm gonna do the fabric part. Because I still don't know. Okay, I guess let's go down to the floor and figure out how to do these wings. For the wings, I built the frame using my pattern and some 9-gauge armature wire. After molding both wings, I used the wire to make a large U shape, which is what sits against my back on the inside of the shirt, giving the illusion that the wings are coming out of my back. I want this part to be strong, so I cut out 3 wires and taped them all together. And then taped that to the wings. Time to engage
Shrimp mode.
And I wrapped the whole thing in ribbon. This took absolutely forever. After I finally finished that, I laid out my sparkly net fabric and then the organza on top of that. Laid the wing down and just cut around it, giving myself about 1/2 inch to 1 inch of seam allowance. This was by no means precise. Then I pinned the fabrics together to the ribbon and start stitching it down. I end up doing the same process 3 more times for each side of the wing. This is gonna take me longer than I thought. But look how cool. This is gonna take me forever. There was probably a better way to do this, right? I've got to get off the floor though, because my back is killing me now. I'm gonna continue sewing this down. But let's go check in with Madame Myriad and see how she's coming along with her project.
Hello!
Hi!
So, are you just finished by now, or have you actually got any work left to do on yours?
I do actually. The wings took me a lot longer than I thought they would, so I'm currently working on them.
Oh my god, they look so cool. What are they made out of?
Some armature wire and a couple of layers of fabric. There's like organza and then this like shimmery net stuff on top of it. I don't know why. I couldn't think of another way to do it. So I've just like wrapped the whole thing in ribbon and then I'm sewing on top of it.
I don't know why. I just assumed you were going to do, you know, people make them with that plasticky stuff.
Yeah, like the cellophane.
Yeah, I thought you were going to do that.
Yeah, that would have been a lot easier. Yeah, for sure. What? How's yours going? Because I haven't seen anything from yours.
It's because there's nothing to show yet. I've got pieces everywhere. So I've just about constructed all of the sleeve pieces. So they will be like wrapping around the arms and then, you know, when like you tie them together with ribbons.
Yeah.
So that'll be for that. And I'm just gonna stitch on all of the trims onto these pieces while we're on the call. My bodice is here in loads of little pieces. And my skirt is on a pile on the floor over there. I've joined all the panels together. I just need to pleat that in to the bodice when that's actually assembled.
Okay.
So it's at that stage where it will come together relatively quickly, but right now I've got nothing to really show for it other than the chemise behind me.
The chemise looks great.
Thank you. actually hate making the very small, consequenceless decisions because they always seem like the hardest ones to make.
Ooh, like what?
Like, which way round do I sew this trim on?
Let me see.
Because it's not technically symmetrical because the pearls kind of fall more to one side than the other. So I can either have the pearls sitting more at the bottom or more at the top.
Bottom.
Same when it goes across the top as well. Or should they be like opposites?
Yeah, I still say bottom.
Yeah? Thank you, I appreciate that. I would have spent like 20 minutes thinking about that. I was thinking about, you know, I've got that really big curly wig that I was thinking about attempting to style it for Thumbelina, but trying to do a bit of a Renaissance kind of hairstyle.
Okay.
But I've no idea how to actually do that. So it's all just in theory. And considering how much of the work I've got left to do, I don't know if I can actually pull it off or not.
When I think of it and like the design that you're going with, it makes me think of Ever After.
Yeah, those are a lot of my reference pictures.
Yeah. So maybe like a crown kind of a braid, and like you could put some of your trim in there.
Yeah, because I did want to try and put some of the daisies in the hair. I even thought about making, you know, those little crisscross cap things.
Crisscross cap things.
Yeah, that was like the worst description I could have given. They're like little lattices, and they just like go as like little caps on the head and the hair styled around it. I did think about trying to make one of those. I've already got this in a knot.
Hand sewing drives me crazy because I always start with a really long thread because I don't want to change my thread, and then like 2 stitches in, I'm like, I can't deal with this thread, it's too long, and it keeps getting caught and it drives me crazy, so then I end up cutting it shorter and like
See, that's
every
exactly
time.
what I do, minus the cutting it shorter. I just suffer.
Just keep banging your head against it like, you will work this time.
Honestly, I'll spend so much time detangling knots because I cut such a long piece of thread.
So do you know what you're working on after this?
Ooh, I'm doing a Katie Keene Valentine's look. I'm very excited. I put a poll up for my subscribers so that they could choose the Katie Keene look they wanted me to do. And there was a really silly one that had like Valentine hearts over the boobies, and I thought they would choose that one. They did not. They chose a very like classic, very pretty design. But
You've already put the poll up?
yeah, I put it up like, ow, stabbed myself. A couple weeks ago. Somebody commented on the photo because she's holding an umbrella, and somebody said it looked like a sword, or like, I can't remember what the comment was, but something about it being a sword. So I was like, well, it's a sword now. So I got all this stuff to make like a prop sword, which I'm freaking stoked about. Oh, we got distracted. What are you doing? Are you doing something for Valentine's?
I've got my codenamed Bloody Valentine project.
Oh.
I essentially, you know, you see those pictures on Pinterest where it's like the couture gowns that have like the blood splatter kind of style, and they do it with like red dye and loads of like stones or beads or sequins or something just to create that effect across something.
Oh, yeah, I love those.
I have always wanted to use that technique on literally anything that I can because it looks really cool and I want to give it a go. I kind of just had a look through my fabric stash just to see just what I've got and what fabrics I can use up. So I came up with this idea to basically make a very 50s housewife turned murderer kind of look.
Okay.
So I've got one of the fabrics that I didn't use on my wedding dress, and I'm going to make a 50s style evening dress.
Okay.
So it's going to look normal up until that point. And then I'm going to go into it with the red fabric paint and add all of like your blood splatters and drips and everything. And then I'm going to go back into that with beading and gems to make it all sparkly blood. And I haven't nailed down the specifics, but I was thinking about doing something with like white gloves as well, to do like fingertips covered in like the sparkly sequin blood.
And have some like dripping.
Yeah, I've got some teardrop beads as well to do some drops. And I also on Pinterest saw someone do a makeup version of it where they did the blood splatters on the face and then filled it with like stuck on gems and stuff.
Yeah.
Really go for it. The only thing I was kind of not sure if I can do or not was I wanted to do some kind of prop, and my go-to was I kind of wanted to just make a bejeweled art that I could just hold.
Okay.
As if I ripped someone's heart out, but I don't know if I can actually make that or not. And I thought an alternative is I could just do a bit of like a, I don't know, like an axe or a knife prop or something, but I don't know the specifics of that. But that is the rough concept, is that very put together housewife went on a sparkly murder.
I love that. I can't wait to see that.
I'm hoping it works.
I like the idea of an axe.
Yeah, me too. But I that's one of those, I don't feel like I should go buy an axe. I really like the idea, but I have no idea if I'll actually be able to pull it off or not.
I think you will. You got this.
6.5 hours later.
Finished wings. Ah, they're so pretty. Everything's done now. I hope you guys enjoyed getting to see Madame Myriad and what she was up to. And now it's time to go to the reveal. Let's go. Wrap up time. I feel so cute. Like, just adorable. I've been working on makeup recently. I really want to be a shapeshifter, so I'm trying to do more like contouring. I tried to give myself a little button nose. I don't know if it worked. Maybe a little, but like, it's not perfect. I'm trying though. Before I get into my pros and cons, I would just like everybody to, after we finish this video, because we're not done yet, okay? Just like a minute more, guys, just hang in there. After this, head on over to Madame Myriad's page and subscribe to her and watch her new video. It should be coming out very, very soon. Now, pros and cons. Pros, it's so cute. I feel so cute. I'm glad I decided to crochet these because it's so adorable. Cons, the wings suck. Wings suck. I mean, they look really pretty, but they do not keep their shape. I really should have either used a thicker wire or more wire, just on like more layers of wire, because they are just like floppy. The shoes held up really well. I was actually kind of shocked. I thought they would really fall apart as soon as I started walking around. No, I think they would hold up. This outfit I think is so good. I could wear it to a con if I fix the wings. Remember how I told you my first conscious thought in the morning was about how I was afraid the shirt would come out of the belt? That was a completely founded anxiety, because it does. I have to be careful with it. I should have made this a dress. I should have made it a dress. But you know what? It's really cute, and I would totally wear this shirt. I think I would even wear this skirt. This skirt is so fun, and it's deceptively big. Like, you look at it and you're just like, oh, it's just like a little skirt. And I'm like, no, bam, yeah, I could smother you with this skirt. Rein it back in, please. Sorry. Hair came out good too. Oh, this part, the little tufts, a little goofy. They match, kind of. I really struggled with them. They're a little bit of a mess, but I'm not mad about it. I don't hate it. But yeah, that's my biggest con is just the wings. I'd have to redo them, which is a shame because they took a lot of hand stitching. That's it. Okay, guys, that's all I got for this week. So, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, and comment. Even if it's just a little fairy, every little bit helps. I really appreciate it, guys. I will see you in a couple weeks for Valentine's Day, which you already got a little sneak peek of. So, bye. Go check out Madame Myriad.